In a dark and dusty corner of the Zarka spaceport, a man named Rex Carter sat alone. He was a human, one of the few left in this side of the galaxy. His face was tired, his ship was old. And his business? Failing, he had sold cargo, weapons, and sometimes pot people. Rex didn't care much. He only cared about surviving. The bar smelled of smoke and oil. Aliens of all shapes and colors sat around, drinking and gambling. Rex sipped his drink. His credit chips were running low. Then the door opened. A tall, green-skinned alien walked in. He wore a dark cloak and had sharp eyes. People moved out of his way. His name was Vetch, a traitor and a dangerous one. Kor walked straight to Rex's table. "You're Rex Carter?" Kor asked in a cold voice. "That's what it says on my ship," Rex replied, not smiling. Kor sat down and leaned forward. "I have a deal for you. One job." "Easy credits," Rex raised an eyebrow. "I'm listening." Kor placed a small data chip on the table. A hologram appeared. It showed a female alien holding a small child. "Both look scared, weak, alone, widow and child," Kor said. "From the Rune War, their planet is gone, no family, no protection, no future. And," Rex asked, his voice flat, "you take them. Deliver them to Grax Market on Tanis 6. They'll pay you 10,000 credits, clean, fast." Rex looked at the hologram. The mother was thin, with soft purple skin and glowing blue eyes. The child was holding her hand tightly, looking directly at the camera. His eyes were filled with fear. "So I'm delivering refugees?" Rex said. "You're delivering property," Kor replied. "They're worth more than scrap. You don't ask questions, you just fly." Rex leaned back in his chair. 10,000 credits. That was enough to fix his ship, refuel, and maybe even disappear for a while. "And if I say no?" Rex asked. "Then someone else will say yes," Kor said, standing up. "But they won't be as gentle." Rex looked again at the hologram. The mother's eyes were full of sadness. The child, too small to understand. Rex picked up the data chip and stood. "Where are they?" A few hours later, in a dark storage room behind the spaceport, Rex saw them in real life. The alien widow was sitting on the floor, holding her son. Her arms wrapped around him like a shield. Her clothes were torn. Her skin was bruised. She looked up when Rex entered. Her eyes searched his face, looking for danger. The child hid his face in her chest. Rex spoke softly. "My name is Rex. I'm taking you off this planet." The woman said nothing. She only nodded slowly. "Can you walk?" he asked. She stood up carefully, holding the child in her arms. The boy looked at Rex, wide-eyed and silent. Rex led them to his ship. The Iron Raven. It was old, patched with metal plates and leaking steam from the back, but it could fly. He opened the side door and helped them inside. He pointed to a small cabin. "You can stay here. It's not much, but it's safe." Still no words. The woman placed the child on the bed and sat beside him. She looked at Rex for a moment, then whispered, "My name is Thari, his name is Lun." Rex nodded. "Nice to meet you." He closed the door gently. Later, in the cockpit, Rex stared out into space. The stars stretched endlessly ahead. He had entered the coordinates for TNNIS-6. But his hands didn't move. He remembered the boy's eyes, the way the mother held him. They weren't cargo. They weren't slaves. They were people. Rex cursed under his breath and slammed his fist on the dashboard. "What the hell am I doing?" He changed the coordinates. Not to TNNIS-6. To a safe zone, far away. From the black market, he turned on the engine. The Iron Raven lifted off the ground and soared into the dark sky, leaving Zarka spaceport behind. But someone was watching. From the shadows, a small drone sent a signal back to Vetch. "The human has taken them." "But he's not going to Tanis 6, Kor smiled, cold and cruel. "Let him run. He'll bring them to me, one way or another." Boom! A loud sound echoed through the metal walls of the ship. The child screamed. The lights flickered. Inside a small, cold cabin, Thari held her son tightly. Lun's eyes were wide with fear. The old ship groaned like it was in pain from behind. The door, a man's voice shouted, "It's okay." "Just turbulence, space wind." It was Rex Carter, the human pilot. His voice was rough, but something in it was calm, like a rock in a storm. The ship, Iron Raven, shook again, then settled. Rex entered the cabin holding 2 cups. Hot drink, he said. Safe to drink, not poison. Thari looked at the cups, then at Rex, then slowly took one and gave it to Lun. Thank you, she said softly. It was the first time she'd spoken to him since they left the spaceport. Rex sat on a small stool across from them. He looked tired, dark circles under his eyes, hands dirty with ship grease. But he smiled a little. Your boy's got strong lungs, he said. Thari looked down at Lun. The child was sipping the warm drink, but his small hands were shaking. He's been through a lot, she whispered. Rex nodded, then asked, what happened to your world? There was silence, then Thari spoke. Flashback. Thari's memory. The sky was red. Fire fell like rain. Her home planet Veralis was under attack. Ships with black symbols flew above, dropping bombs. Cities burned. Her people screamed. Her husband fought in the defense fleet. He didn't come back. She ran, carrying Lun, hiding in caves, escaping in a refugee pod. They were hunted, caught, sold, held in cages, treated like things. Until Rex came, back to present. I was a scientist, Thari said. Now I'm just a mother. Rex looked at her. There's nothing just about being a mother, he said. Surprised by his words. She studied him carefully. Why are you helping us? She asked. You were supposed to sell us. Rex didn't answer right away. He looked out the small round window at the stars. Maybe I'm tired of being that kind of man, he said. Or maybe I saw something in your son's eyes, something worth saving. Silence again, then Lun suddenly coughed, a deep, wet cough. His face turned pale. Thari panicked. He's sick. Rex jumped up. Medkit, I've got one. Stay here. He ran to the back of the ship, opened the metal box, and came back with a small scanner and medicine pack. He knelt next to Lun and ran the scanner. Mild infection, lungs, the air in those cages. Probably dirty. He gave the child a small injection. Lun whimpered, but Rex smiled. You're brave, just like your mom. Thari looked at Rex with different eyes now. He wasn't just a smuggler. He was something more. Where are we going? She asked. Rex stood, rubbing the back of his neck. There's a mining colony. Abandoned now. No patrols, no bounty hunters. I know a hiding spot there. You'll be safe for a while. Thari looked down. They'll still come. They always come. Then let them come, Rex said, voice harder now. This time someone will fight. Back. Cut 2. Elsewhere in the galaxy, in a dark room, Korvetch watched a screen. A red dot blinked. A tracker. He changed course, said one of his men. He's not going to Tanis 6. Kor narrowed his eyes. Then we follow. And when we find him, we take them, alive. Back on the Iron Raven later, Thari stood in the doorway of the cockpit. Rex was flying the ship, eyes focused. Do you always work alone? She asked. Easier that way, Rex said. No one to lose. But you let us in, she said. Rex didn't turn his head. Yeah, he said. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe you didn't, she whispered. He glanced at her. Just for a second, outside the window, stars moved like silver dust, but danger was coming, and none of them were ready. Silence. The peaceful kind. The kind that makes your skin cold. The kind before something terrible happens. Inside the Iron Raven, red lights blinked quietly in the cockpit. Rex Carter stood still, staring at the radar. A red dot was following them, getting closer. He didn't curse. He didn't panic. He just whispered, they found us. 3 hours earlier, everything was calm. Rex had found a quiet moon to stop and repair the ship. A dusty rock with no name, floating in the dark like a forgotten bone. There were old mining buildings there, empty and broken. Rex walked through the silent station while Thari and Lun rested in the ship. He checked the area. No signs of life, but above the planet, hiding in the shadows of an asteroid, someone was watching, a sleek black ship. No lights, no signals. Inside, a bounty hunter stared at a screen. He smiled when the Iron Raven landed. He pressed a button. Signal sent. Coordinates locked. Now, inside the Iron Raven, alarms began to blink softly. Proximity alert. Rex moved fast. He ran to the engine room. Then to the sleeping cabin. Thari was already awake, holding Lun in her arms. The boy was coughing. Again, weak but awake. Get ready, Rex said. We're not safe anymore. Who is it? Thari asked. Kor's men. Probably more than one ship. I should have guessed they'd track us. He pulled open a hidden panel in the wall, revealing a dusty locker. Inside, weapons. He handed Thari a small blaster, just in case. She took it, hesitated. I don't know how. Point. Shoot. Protect him. The Iron Raven lifted off quickly, kicking up dust from the moon's surface. As soon as it reached the upper sky, two ships appeared from the blackness of space. Fast. Armed, hungry. Rex slammed the throttle forward. Hold on. The ship roared. Red bolts of energy shot past them, lighting up the stars. Rex rolled the ship left, then right, dodging between two crumbling satellites. They want you alive, Rex muttered. That's the only reason we're... Still breathing, inside the cabin, Lun clung to his mother. Thari looked calm, but her heart was racing. The boy whispered, Are we gonna die? She pulled him close. Not today. Back in the cockpit, Rex pulled a hard turn and dove toward an asteroid belt. Let's see if they like rocks. He flew straight into the thick field of spinning stones. The Iron Raven weaved through narrow gaps. One wrong move and they'd be space dust. Behind him, the hunters followed. One of their ships got too close. A sharp rock slammed into it. Boom. It exploded in a burst of blue fire. One down, Rex said. One still breathing. The remaining enemy ship was smarter. Faster. It locked onto the Raven's engine. Fired. Crack. A direct hit. The Raven shook. Warning lights flashed. Fire sparked in the hallway. Rex yelled, Thari, grab the emergency pod. She didn't argue. She ran to the back of the ship, pulled open the emergency pod bay. Smoke filled the room. Lun was coughing hard now. I've got him, she shouted. Rex appeared behind her, limping. His arm was burned. He pulled a lever. The pod launched, shooting toward the surface of a nearby frozen moon. He didn't climb in. What are you doing? Thari screamed. I'm the pilot, Rex said. I'll draw them away. You'll die. Maybe, but you won't. He slammed the pod door shut. Thari screamed, banging the glass. Lun cried out, but the pod was gone. Back in the sky, Rex turned the ship sharply, flying straight toward the last hunter. Come on, you bastard, he said. Follow me. And the ship did. Just like Rex planned. He led it into a deep crater on the frozen moon, flying lower and lower. Then, at the last second, Rex pulled up and hit the eject button. The Iron Raven, his ship, his home, smashed into the hunter's ship in a huge explosion. The fire lit up the night sky. Rex parachuted into the snow, half-conscious, bleeding. He smiled, barely. Still, got it. Then everything went black. Final Thari held Lun in her arms. Watching the sky from a cave entrance, the explosion was bright and far. Tears ran down her face. Please be alive. She whispered a name she never thought she'd care about. Rex? The boy was dreaming. He stood alone in a white space. No sky. No floor. No walls. Just light and voices, whispers in a language he didn't know, but somehow understood. Child of Viralis. Blood of the Starborn. Symbols floated around him, glowing shapes in the air, a circle with wings, a triangle with a single eye. He reached out to touch them. They pulsed softly. Everything shook. The light turned red and a cold voice echoed, They are watching. Lun opened his eyes, screaming. They were inside a cave. Deep in the ice-covered moon where the emergency pod had landed, Thari held him tight, whispering, It's okay, you were dreaming. Lun looked up at her with wide eyes. There were voices and lights. They said, I'm starborn. Thari froze. She had heard those words before, long ago, when she was young, in stories, in temples. Words about a chosen one who would return when everything was broken. She thought they were myths. Fairy tales, but now, somewhere outside, in the snowy storm, someone coughed, a human voice, wounded, slow. Rex Carter was alive, burned, limping, cold. He had followed the trail of the emergency pod through the snow. His coat was half melted, his hands were shaking. But he found them. He stumbled into the cave entrance and collapsed. "Hey," he said, his voice like gravel. "Told you I'm hard to kill." Thari ran to him, helped him sit down. Lund smiled weakly. "You came back," the boy said. "Of course I did," Rex replied. "You've got my favorite blanket, remember?" They stayed in the cave for hours. The wind howled outside. Inside it was dark and cold, but safe. For now, Rex lit a small emergency heat lamp. Thari looked at the cave walls. There were markings, old ones, carved deep into the stone. Circles, stars, a hand reaching toward the sky. "These are Verulan symbols," she whispered. "My people used to live here a long, long time ago." "Wait," Rex said. "You're telling me this frozen rock is some kind of holy place?" "Maybe, or maybe it's not just a rock." Then Lund stood, his eyes glowing faintly blue. He walked deeper into the cave like something was calling him. "Lund, wait," Thari called, but the boy didn't stop. They followed him into a narrow tunnel at the end, a door. Huge, metallic, ancient. Covered in glowing lines that pulsed softly as Lund approached, he placed his small hand on the center. Symbol, the same winged circle he saw in his dream. The door opened. No sound, just light. Inside was a round room. Empty. Except for a single floating orb, silver, smooth, alive. It began to speak. Not with words, but with thoughts. They all heard it, even Rex. Verulan blood detected, primary signature, child. Secondary, mother, unknown third, human, allowed. Rex blinked. Did that thing just say I'm allowed? "That's a first." Thari stepped forward. "What is this place?" "Sanctuary," the orb replied. "Last memory of Veralis, last key." "Key to what?" The orb floated closer to Lund, to everything. Suddenly, the orb glowed brighter. It showed a vision in the air, a memory, the Verulan homeworld. Tall cities, peace, then ships arrived, bombs fell. Fire, screaming, death. Then. A baby carried into a small escape pod. A voice whispered, "Protect the seed. The star child must live." Thari covered her mouth. She was crying. "He's more than just my son." The orb continued. "The child is the last of the royal line. He holds the code, the map to what remains." "Remains of what?" Rex asked. "Of Veralis, of hope?" Then silence. The orb turned dark. The vision ended, and far above the frozen moon, another ship arrived, black, cold, hunting, cut to, enemy ship inside. Corvetch watched the radar. "They stopped moving," he said. "They found something." His second-in-command asked, "Do we send ground units?" Kor smiled. "No, let's burn them out." Back in the cave, the snow outside turned orange. A sound like thunder filled the sky. Rex looked up. "We've got company." "Big company." He turned to Thari. "You and your son, you've got some kind of legacy." "So do you," she said. Quietly. "What do you mean?" She smiled, tears still in her eyes. "You chose us when no one else did. That means more than blood." Rex looked at Lund. The boy was staring at him. Not with fear, but with trust. 10 years ago smoke, screaming, fire on the station deck. Rex Carter was younger, faster, colder. He ran through the flames, pushing people out of his way. Behind him, a voice cried out, "Please help me, just one more minute." He didn't stop, he didn't look back. He reached his ship, closed the door, and flew away. The station exploded behind him. He never asked who died. He never cared. Until now. Present. The frozen moon snow fell in thick waves. The sky above burned orange. Missiles. A large black ship hovered above, ready to destroy everything. Inside the ancient cave, Rex, Thari, and Lund stood in silence. The orb had gone dark. The visions had ended. But outside, the real danger was coming. "They're going to bomb the whole mountain," Rex said. "We need to run," Thari whispered, clutching Lund. Rex shook his head. "There's nowhere to run." He walked to the edge of the cave and looked out. In the distance, he saw small enemy drones landing. Troops were coming. "They don't want the boy," he said. "They want to erase him." "Then what do we do?" Thari asked. Rex looked at her, really looked. "We fight." Rex opened the last emergency crate. Inside, old weapons, thermal charges, And one last card, a small remote detonator, blinking red. We'll split up, he said. They'll... Follow me. You take Lun and go deeper into the cave. There must be another exit. Thari stepped forward, angry now. No, we stay together. You stay alive, Rex said firmly. That's how we win. That's how he wins. He knelt before Lun. The boy was shaking, his eyes glowing softly again. You remember what I said? Rex asked. Be brave, Lun whispered. That's right. Rex handed him a small metal token, a piece of his ship. You keep this. For luck. Outside, Snowfield Rex stood tall, blaster in one hand, detonator in the other. He walked right into the open. The soldiers spotted him. Human spotted. They opened fire. He ran fast, diving behind old mining crates, firing back. Come on, you cowards, he shouted. I'm right here. More came, but he kept moving, leading them away from the cave, farther and farther. Meanwhile, Thari carried Lun through narrow tunnels. They moved quietly, listening to the explosions above. The boy spoke softly. He's not coming back, is he? Thari paused. She didn't lie. I don't know. But he's doing this because he loves us. Back on the surface, Rex reached an old fuel station, half buried in snow. Perfect. He placed the thermal charges. The soldiers were close now. He could hear their voices surround him. Rex looked at the detonator. He thought of the past, of the people he left behind, of the ones he never saved. Then he thought of Lun's small hand in his and Thari's eyes, full of fire and pain and hope. Not this time, he whispered. He stood. Let them see him, the commander pointed. Fire? Rex smiled, bloody, freezing, but strong. And he pressed the button. Boom. The mountainside shook. Fire, light, heat, snow exploded into the sky like a storm. Hours later, silence. Then footsteps in the snow. Hfycodex and Lun climbed out from a lower tunnel. The air smelled like smoke and ice. They saw the remains of the enemy ship, broken in the snow. But no sign of Rex. Nothing but a burned coat and a metal token. The match to the one Lun held. Thari fell to her knees. She didn't cry. She held her son close. He saved us. Final scene, distant view far away in a hidden valley. A figure walked alone, burned, alive. Rex Carter, still breathing, but changed forever. Somewhere in the wreckage, a hand pushed through the snow. Burned, bleeding. Vetch was still alive. His ship was gone. His men were dead, but not him. He crawled out of the crater, gasping, eyes full of hate. Above him, dark clouds circled the frozen sky. He thinks it's over, Kor whispered. It's not. He touched the small device on his wrist. A blinking blue signal lit up. Send back up. I want the boy. I want the mother. And bring me the human. Alive. 3 days later, Border Planet Medical Station. Rex Carter sat on a cold hospital bed, bandaged from head to toe. His hands shook. His ribs were broken. His right leg barely worked. He had survived the explosion. Barely. A local colony found him near the valley and brought him in. But even now, safe in a clean room, his mind wasn't quiet. He kept seeing Thari's face, Lun's eyes, the way the mountain burned. He thought he'd given his life for them. Now he didn't know if they were alive or gone. A voice came from the hallway. Cold, smooth, familiar. You really are hard to kill, Carter. Rex turned his head. Vetch walked in, wrapped in black armor, alive, untouched by guilt. Behind him, 2 guards stood with weapons aimed. Rex reached for his side, but he had nothing. What do you want? Rex growled. Kor smiled. Deal. Kor placed a small hologram device on the table. It flickered, showing Thari and Lun alive, locked in a holding cell. Lun looked pale. Thari was yelling at the guards. Rex's heart dropped. They're safe, for now, Kor said. You want them free? Easy. He leaned closer. Come with me. Give me the access codes from the Verlin vault, the ones the child carries. You help me unlock that ancient tech, and they walk free? And if I say no, Rex asked, voice tight, then I take what I need. From the boy. The hard way. Rex sat still. Sweat ran down his back. His body screamed in pain. His soul wanted to scream louder. He had risked everything to save them, and now they were still in chains. He could end it. Just say, yes. Give up the codes. Walk away. Let the galaxy burn as long as they survived. But then he remembered something. Back on the frozen moon, the way Lun had touched the ancient door, the orb's words, the child is the key. Not just to some treasure. To hope. To truth. Maybe even to peace. Rex looked Core in the eye. You want the codes? Yes, then go to hell. Core's smile disappeared. Wrong answer. He raised his hand to signal the guards, but before they could move, a power cut hit the room. Darkness. Emergency red lights kicked on, sirens outside. What the? Core shouted. A voice came from the com speaker. This is Thari. I've taken control of your systems. You forgot I was a scientist. Core's eyes widened. Rex laughed through the pain. Guess you should have locked the smart one up tighter. Boom! An explosion shook the walls. Thari and Lun burst into the room. Lun ran to Rex. We came back! Rex pulled him close. You're late. Thari tossed Rex a blaster. You still good to shoot? Not really, Rex said. But I'll try. The final fight was fast and brutal. Rex, still limping, stood between Core and the escape ship. KO raised his weapon. This isn't over, Carter. It is for you. Bang. Rex fired first. Core fell. Later, safe zone. Edge of galaxy. The three of them sat around a small campfire. Lun was asleep on Rex's shoulder. Thari looked at the stars. You had a choice, she said softly. You could have left us. I did leave people once, Rex replied, a long time ago. He looked at Lun. I'm not making that mistake again, she smiled. So what now? Rex took a deep breath. Now, we find out what the boy really carries. And we protect it. Lun was drawing a stick figure of a man, a woman with long arms, and a small boy between them. They were holding hands above them. He drew stars behind them. He drew a ship. He didn't know all the words yet. So he drew instead. At the bottom, he wrote slowly, carefully, family. They were camped on a quiet green moon, far from war, far from Core, far from pain. The stars above were soft. The air was clean. And for the first time in a long time, they felt safe. Rex Carter stood by the fire, fixing a metal part with a small tool. Thari was nearby, reading old Verulan data logs, records recovered from the ancient sanctuary. And Lun? He just drew. Hey kid, Rex said. Come here a sec. Lun ran over. Rex handed him something small, a smooth white stone with a tiny glowing symbol on it. Found this near the crash site, Rex said. Thought it looked important. Lun took it in his hands. The moment he touched it, the symbol lit up. Blue light wrapped around his fingers. The stone began to speak. Voice code accepted, initiating legacy sequence. They all stared as a hologram appeared in the air. An ancient Verulan woman. A queen, her eyes gentle, voice strong. To the child of our blood. If you are hearing this, then the line has survived. Our people are gone, but our knowledge, our power, and our hope remain. You carry the seed of the future. She looked directly at Lun. This is not just a gift. It is a responsibility. Thari touched her son's shoulder. She was our last queen, she whispered. She must have encoded the vault's location in you. So he's a map? Rex asked. He's more than that, Thari replied. He's a bridge. The hologram changed. It showed a star map, dozens of blinking systems, then zoomed in on a hidden planet, locked behind radiation storms and cloaked fields. The Queen's voice returned. This is Veralis Prime, the last memory vault. Inside are the blueprints for peace, technology that can heal worlds, or destroy them if used by the wrong hands. Rex stood slowly. We're taking him there. It's dangerous, Thari said. So is letting the galaxy stay broken, Rex replied. You really think one child can change all that? Rex looked at Lun. The boy was holding the stone to his chest, quiet, brave. I think he already has. Rex said. Final journey arrival at Veralis Prime. The trip was long, quiet, hard. The storms around the lost planet nearly tore their ship apart, but they made it. The surface was covered in glass-like stone. The sky glowed purple. They found the vault beneath a mountain, hidden. Ancient, alive. The doors opened for Lund. No weapons. No violence. Just a light that welcomed him, inside. The vault responded to his presence. It played more messages. Taught him history. Showed him technology. Machines that could clean poisoned worlds. Code that could unite alien systems. Maps of ancient alliances. And stories of Viralis. Of war, of peace. Later, back at the ship they sat quietly. Thari looked at Rex. You didn't have to stay. Not all the way to the end. It's not the end, he said. It's just the beginning. Lund came to them. He looked older somehow, not in his body, but in his eyes. He hugged Rex first. Thank you. For what? Rex asked. For being my dad. Rex froze for a second, then pulled the boy close. He didn't cry, but he smiled. And that said everything. Final scene. New day. The ship flew away from Viralis Prime, leaving a trail of light behind. Inside it, a new family, not by blood, but by choice, a human who found his purpose, a mother who found her hope. And a child who carried the legacy of an entire world. The galaxy was still broken, still dangerous, but now there was a chance to fix it, and they would do it together.